Western. Eita. Hello, guys.
Hello.
My name is Erica. Tá funcionando?
Are you live? Go ahead.
So my name is Erica. Good evening. I think it's evening already. Or each, but 21. Chegando atrasado. Foi? Foi? So my name is Erica. I work here at Oracle. I'm also studying cybersecurity. I'm here to talk like a short talk, okay? I'm kind of shy. It's my first time here. So welcome to Oracle. Welcome all you guys to Oracle.
Yeah.
As you guys know, we have Oracle for Communities, right? Like we have SouJava here. We're here. And what is Oracle for Communities? It's an initiative that connects different tech communities and promote open knowledge sharing. I put this one here because I was scared to forget. So
Dash.
just to share with you guys. So we have all these communities. We're Java today, but like feel free to join any of the communities. Okay. I would like to share with you guys too. We really have this big event coming on May 1st, 9 a.m. in Neoquímica Arena. I know you guys know here in São Paulo. This event, like, please join and share with everyone. It's a data deep dive. It's a global event that takes place in different countries, okay, around the world. And this will be the first time here in Brazil. So it's a huge event, a very important one to make connections, to learn the new stuffs about data and then AI. So please share and join. Are you guys already got the QR code? Please? Good? Okay. So April events. Do you need me to go back? Wait. Good. So we also have April events. And please also share and join. We have really good events coming. So around April, please. Let's join. And this is, you all guys know, you know this guy, right? This guy gave me the opportunity to come here today to just present an oracle to you guys. I believe you guys have the LinkedIn. Who doesn't have the LinkedIn, please join Felipe. He's our tech community leader and dev help too. And that's it for Oracle. I will pass the word to my friend here. Thank you, guys. Oh, you.
You.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Still me.
I think.
Other side?
Yeah, this is the side.
Ready. Gosh, take the pictures.
To know if you wanted to do this in the next year presentation instead of doing this, then he will come. And then you can...
Yeah, maybe Bruno can start with the presentation, etc., and we'll just like skip about the second part. No,
No, actually,
yeah, we can do like
next, and then you can change with Bruno. So you go first.
I feel that everyone is staring at us.
Huh?
Let's do very quickly about Sigma, and then Bruno,
Yes.
and then me at the end. Okay. Can I? Awesome. Hi guys, my name is Anastasia. I know that I make lots of people uncomfortable here because I have to speak in English, and it's not something that is. Why are you looking at me like that, surprised?
Today is the day that our talks are in English. So
That's
you're right.
perfect. I'm like, I love this day. Like today is the best day of the week.
Yes, so no one is uncomfortable.
So everyone, like, should put yourself there and talk in English. I'm from Sigma Software. I'm head of global operations strategy and locations in our company. Maria really asked me to do like very quick presentation about Sigma Software, so I will be extremely quick here and just give you like a couple slides information. This is our slogan. Like who we are as a company. We are a consultancy company. We are originally a Ukrainian company that is currently international. We've been working on the market for 25 actually years. So like since 2021, we are in Brazil for the last 3.5 years. Pretty new here, but trying to feel very comfortable. We have an amazing team with the office in São Paulo that we are trying to change right now in a little bit other place. What are we doing exactly as a company? I will do this slide because Maria really liked it. So we're the group of the companies. We are doing like several directions in our business, and we are working with several areas. Our main area and our main domain is the consultancy. We work with the clients around the globe, mostly United States and Europe, like Scandinavia, UK, and Germany. We do have the clients in the Middle East, but not that a lot. We're doing projects in fintech, in healthcare, in advertisement technology, in edtech as educational part, logistics, defense is quite a big area for us as of now. But we also have like several companies in our group, like Sigma Software University, which is like a huge educational company that doing like in-house and out-house educational projects, not only about technologies, but general like English courses, etc. We do have our own, it's called Sigma Software Labs. It's like a startup incubator where we like launching the different startups and trying then to work with their products and suggest it to our clients, and some other companies like in the different domains, including Star for Life, which is like a volunteering company that supports educational, etc. What's happening? Nothing. Okay. Here is like in 2 words about our values. As a consultancy company, like we do value people that work with us for a long time. We do appreciate everyone who joining us, and we want to see them grow in our company. That's why we have quite a good relationship with everyone that we are building on the trust and relationship. And this is not my presentation, so I have no idea what's going to happen on the next slide. But this is all the amazing perks that we have here in the team and within the company and the offer. And I guess, and this is like the picture from our annual party. We're doing this like celebration in December of our amazing office opening to have everyone from all over Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, and Mexico. Not everyone is on this picture, but you can see extremely beautiful and bright faces that joined our team recently. And that's all. And that's all. That's all. This is QR code. As everyone likes QR codes, you can scan it here. Yeah, I guess this is in 2 words about Sigma Searcher. And then that's all, right?
And we have some Java. We have Miro and Senior Java. And here, as you can see, this beautiful lady with pink hair. She's the recruiter responsible for this opportunity. So if you want to have something to talk with her, please do it.
I'm sorry, I forgot this part. But it's my project. I feel very embarrassed right now.
Mas é o seu. Ah, não é? Ok. Acho que vou fazer sem nada, então. Tem alguma coisa pra colocar o logo ali? Sorry. Meia hora? Meia hora? Meia hora, né? Vou tentar colocar aqui. 1h20, tá bom?
Deixa eu chamar o Edson para falar também. Eu já vou pedir para deixar o microfone.
Ok. Okay. I'll be here to be very close to you. How about that? Yes, okay. All right. I'll just leave this QR code and I'll put another QR code in a minute there. Let me go here to oh, that's me. Oops. Come on. Okay. Oops. Okay, good. All right. At least we have a SouJava logo here somewhere.
Bruno,
What?
can you share screen?
No, there's no need to share screen. It's just so we can have a SouJava logo here.
No.
All right. That's it, right? All right. Okay. So they say I have 30 minutes, right? Is that it? Time starts now. Okay. Assuming my timer works. No? All right. So, hello everyone. The goal here today is to talk about your career, an international career. And so what we're going to be doing here is answering your questions about how to have an amazing international career. Right? So the question here, who here wants to have an international career? All right. Who here wants to make lots of money as a developer? All right. Good. Okay. All right. Now the question here is, I'm too close here? No, is it good? Okay. The question here is, who here is still studying? You're not working yet, studying. Few people. Okay, good. Welcome here. That's great. Who here is a junior developer? You know, have like 1, 2, 3 years of career. All right, junior developers. Hello, all of you. Who here is a mid-level developer? Now someone that, okay, everyone's raised their hand. Okay, good. Mid-level developer, right? Okay. Who here is a senior developer? All right, several senior developer. Who here is a beyond senior developer? All right, a few people. That's good. Awesome. Okay, so there's 4 people that raise their hands as beyond senior developer because I raised my hand too, right? So three people in the audience. One already gave a talk, right? So you're out, right? The other one here is a good friend of mine, but you're out. She said you're out. I was gonna say something else, but she said you're out. So that's it. Now, I want to invite the third guy to come here give a talk to me because we have the honor to have here a good friend of mine, Java champion, Microsoft MVP, works for Google right now, right? And a guy that built his international career. He lives in the US now, and totally by crazy chance, he was here today. So put your hands together to Edson Yanaga. So one thing I want to say about Edson Yanaga career is that many years ago I started giving talks about career, and no one talked about career at that time, but it was me and Edson, right? Mm-hmm. We started the first conversation about career was me and him discussing career, and he used all the discussions to make his career and do amazing. So how about you tell, very short, how was your career going to the US?
Hi, everyone. I think I could say like Bruno, I was your first mentee, maybe.
Thank you. Yeah. Is it recorded? Is it recorded that?
Because my career really started to change when I met some very important people in my life. Like I was able to meet like Yara and Vinicius from TDC. Some of you might know them. And then I was able to meet one of the, somebody who can call like one of the greatest, if not the greatest, friend of all, like Bruno.
Thank you.
Very happy to
call you so friend. Much. Yes, thank you.
And it was, and we met when I was reaching a very low point of my career. I was struggling, of course, trying to find some meaning into my life, into my career, because I really love to develop software. I really love to find solutions so I can help people in their daily lives with what I build. But I was struggling to find a way, because not only doing what you love, right? You need to make money too, and you need some meaning in what you're doing. So I was really struggling on that part, and I was able to find it after some years working with these people together. So that's when I started to join Bruno. First time we did something together was at Java 1 2012 in San Francisco. Yeah. We did a joint talk by chance too.
By chance too.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
No. It was not by chance. I want to correct this, right? Because I think that's a very important thing. Edson at that time, he was broke, right? Really broke. Right. I'm not going to go into details. He might want, because But anyway, but even though he was broke, he found a way. He got a friend of his to help him out. He found a way to go to an event. Right. So it's crazy how many people that events are happening in São Paulo, for example, and they don't go. How many register for this event here? 40. There's 40 registrations, right? So we don't have 40 people here. So there are people that register for this and did not come, right? And so he in São Paulo, right? And you could just watch online. I mean, if there's anyone watching online, say hello in the chat for us so we know you're watching online. There are people that, you can come to TDC, the Developers Conference happening here in São Paulo in less than a month, right? And people that are here, they don't go. Edson did not have an event in his city. So he had to travel, hotel, Uber, expenses, right? Foods. And he had no money. And he had to figure out a way to go there. So when he says that by chance, we met because he wasn't at the event.
That's true, yeah. When I say no money, I was completely bankrupt, owing money to everyone, banks, friends, family. And some months before, I thought, well, everything I'm doing is going wrong, so maybe I should try something different. So I think 2 or 3 months before, I applied to the call for papers for TDC Florianópolis. At the time, the event was in May. So I was accepted to give 2 talks. But as Bruno said, I didn't have money for anything. And I was struggling. I told another good friend of mine what was happening. And he just like, you don't have to worry. I think you should be there. I'm going to pay for you to be there. I'm very thankful for him as well. And when I went there, I didn't know what I was supposed to expect from this trip. But after I came back to the event, nothing changed in my life. But 2 months later, a company approached to me, like on social media. Oh, I saw that you gave a talk about this particular subject at this event in Florianópolis. And we're dealing with the same problem. Would you be open to come here and do some consultancy work to figure out what's wrong with our project? And of course, I was desperate for money. So I was eager to do that. And then I went there. I was able to help them to solve this problem. And they enjoyed my work. Like a month later, they asked me to go back again. Oh, we have more problems. Could you help us to do this thing? And I was there again. And then after the 3rd time, they called me. He said, don't you want to work for us? And that's when my career started to change. So it was the first opportunity. Then after this one came others. Then when I started to receive this offers from different companies asking me to help them with their issues, I said, well, maybe it's working. Maybe I should invest more in this part of my career. So that was the point that I decided that with the few money that I had at the time, I would take all the money that I could to invest into going to these events, so I could make these important and meaningful connections. So that's when, after some months later, I was able to go to another event. And then I gave another talk, I met other people. And with these networking conversations, with the talks that I gave, like more people started to approach me. And it was like a snowball, but maybe going up because it was in a good way. So it just went growing and growing and growing until that 4 years later, I was a Java 1 again in San Francisco. I had lost my job again, but that time I wasn't. I had already paid everyone back, so I wasn't broke. So okay, I don't have a job, but let's enjoy this week. And when right in the middle of the event, I received a call, and I was using a US number. I had no idea how they reached out to me, but it was my future manager. Like at the time, my Burr from Red Hat, which would become my future manager, he said that, oh, I have this new position in my team. I'm looking for a candidate. And I've talked to a person that works here at Red Hat. And he told me that he knew the perfect person for that particular role. That's why it was a completely cold call. We discussed, and it was a very long interview process. I went over 20, 30 interviews, because he was really afraid of hiring somebody that never worked for a big company before, that never worked abroad. And especially it was an issue for him because it was a public speaking role. He had serious doubts if I would be able to speak English fluently, to write content in a good way, if I would be able to speak publicly, if I would be able to deliver the message that the company required. So that's why it took so long. I had to talk with a lot of people inside the company until he was convinced that I was the right person for the role. So that's when 6 months later I was hired by Red Hat, and that's when my international career started. So I started working for Red Hat. 1 year later, they asked me to move to the US. I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, where I live still until today. And then in 2022, I was invited by Google to apply for a position there. Because I had applied for Google twice before, never even received an email back. But then this time was different. They reached out to me, oh, we have some open positions. I think you would be a good candidate. Then the conversation was different. And I could tell a lot about the process, but it was very funny because the recruiter said, oh, would you like to be part of the process? We can schedule an interview, a coding interview. I said, are you available tomorrow? And it was like, well, I've read on the internet that these coding interviews are very hard. Maybe I need some time, like maybe 2 weeks a month to prepare myself for these interviews. And the recruiter said, oh, you're fine. Somebody with your profile, it should be very easy for you. And then the next day I was there for the interview. The interviewer was super kind, but it was I was gonna say some kind words here. But I would say it was the hardest coding problem that I've ever seen in my life. I had no idea how to solve it when I saw that. But I know how to play by the rules. The interviewer told me, I don't have to solve it in 60 minutes. I just have to convince him that I could solve it if I had more time. So that's when I say, okay, let's just talk over it. So I just start to talk over it about, that's my how I was processing the problem. So to be able to solve this, I would first create this data structure, and maybe I should apply this kind of algorithm here. And it was like 15 minutes in the interview, and I stopped talking because I told the interviewer, oh, wait, I know how to solve it. And then I just stopped talking, and I just coded. Like 10 minutes later, okay, it's running, and I was done. And it's funny because it was a super hard problem. In principle, I didn't think I would be able to figure out how to solve it. But just by talking to myself, like rubber ducking, just by going over the process, I was able to find a solution. The interview was done. The recruiter called me the next day. Okay, let's go for the next round. But then told me, okay, I need at least a week because I really need to study for this kind of things. And then that's where I'm still today. So I'm going to be my 4th anniversary next month. And yeah, still happy to be there.
Very good.
I don't think it was that short, but yeah, that's my as short as I could.
Okay, so now, considering everything that Edson just told you here, right? The idea is that we're gonna spend 15 minutes answering questions for you guys, right? So, where do you want to get? So here's 2 things I want you to think. One, where do you want to get? I want you to think for a second. How far do you want to go in your career? Okay, because we have a recruiter here that might even hire you, right? Why not? You have 2 Java champions here that can help you out. You have one of the top community leaders in Brazil here, right? So we have lots of people here that can help you achieve your career, right? So where do you want to get? How far do you want to get? Because when you were broke several years ago, you're not thinking that you're going to be in the US, living in a nice house, and your kids going to university in the US and all that.
No, I just wanted to be able to pay the past rents.
Right. Okay. So, but I want you guys to dream. Where do you want to get? Everyone has something in mind?
I would say that it's okay to aim high.
Yeah.
It's okay to be wrong. Because I'll tell Bruno always asked me, I don't like to make plans because every single plan I made in my life went wrong. But
you went wrong because you did better.
but I know I want to go as far as I can.
Right.
So I'm always aiming higher. I'm always aiming better. So like, it's okay to aim high. It's okay to go wrong, as long as you're willing to go forward. I think it's worth it.
Right. So have something in mind, everyone. Now, second question. No, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear your dream. Why I don't want to hear your dream? Because telling your dream to other people is not a good idea. Right? Because when you tell your dream, your brain's like, yoo-hoo. I'm going to say, whoa, that's an amazing dream. Oh, I want to go to the US. Oh, that's awesome. And then your brain says, okay, I already got my reward. Right? Everyone is clapping to me because I'm going to do it. So I don't need to do anymore. Right? So you don't need to tell the dream. But I wanted the second thing. Why can't you have what you want right now? What's a challenge? Why you're not in the position that you want? Because you're afraid of going to code interviews with Google? Because you have no idea who could help you with an international career, right? Because you don't have friends that could help you out. What is the challenge? Because I want to hear that. Now, if you want to, I want to hear the challenge because I want to help you solve the challenge.
First of all, thanks for the talk. Story. First thing I would like to clarify that I'm actually not a developer.
That's okay.
I'm working in cybersecurity.
Professionals. Yeah, we're talking about professionals, not developers. Yeah, that's okay.
I feel a little bit. I feel like I am somewhat in your spot right now. Mainly because I'm broke.
Okay.
Yeah, I see you. Yeah.
I also attend a lot of events. And I tried to talk to some events, but never had the opportunity. Never accepted my paper. Never actually that good, to be honest. And I want to actually understand how can you actually make the right and meaningful connections? How can I talk to people who are much better than me and have way more important things to do than talking to me? And not that I'm useless, not that, but objectively they have more important things to do than talk to me. And I would like to understand from a perspective of someone who did that, how did you do it? How did you approach people? Was it natural? Did you have it like, oh, I want to talk to this guy? Or not? Was it just like, oh, he's here, we're going to talk. And by an accident, he's like a very important guy. And he flourished from there. So and to answer your question, of course, my biggest challenge is that I don't understand how to make the right connections. I don't understand how to position myself in the way that I would like to be seen, although I'm working on that.
Okay, you start and I'll finish.
No, that's a good point. Like, I'm an introvert. I usually avoid talking to people, and which is very weird because I used to be a professor. So I can do one-way communications, not like friendly conversations easily, but I force myself to. And the problem when you don't go outside your bubble, you might be the best person in the world in this particular thing, and nobody, maybe not even you, knows that. So I think that going to events, doing these network things, is an opportunity to let other people know you. And one of the things I learned, especially in the tech world, the other people are just like me. Nobody wants to talk to other people. So everybody is in the same boat, that everyone is too scared to have a conversation. And one thing that worked for me in particular is that I always say, well, whenever I go to events these days, I usually never attend a talk. I just stay in the hallway near the food and the coffee, because everyone mingles around there. And during a talk, people are paying attention to the talk. But when people are waiting for the food or for the coffee, everybody has the same goal. Oh, it's an opening. You can always talk about people.
Right.
Oh, the food is taking so long. The coffee here is horrible. Oh, the coffee in the other room is better. So you already have an excuse. And another thing that really helped me is that people have more meaningful conversations when they're sharing food with other people. So I made a lot of friends by meeting some people at the events. And if you stay until the end, everybody's hungry. Everybody needs to go somewhere to eat. And by just like following a bunch of unknown people, random people at the event, when you're sharing food, you have I had the most meaningful conversation in my career. So I made some of the best friends I have until now. I met a lot of fantastic people. I met amazing speakers. I met people that were struggling with issues the same that I had. We're able to share ideas, how to solve that, and with a good bunch of them, especially when I was working as a consultant, these people shared opportunities with me. So it helped a lot. That's why I always try to, whenever I have some time, I like to share foods and drinks. I think it's when people are more open, because you don't share food with somebody you don't trust. So you're in a trusted or a trustful environment. So I think it worked for me. Yeah, I'm not saying it can work for everyone, but I think it really worked for me.
But that's interesting because Silicon Valley, right? The huge success. It started because there's one company that started building, ships, not even ships, right? Just kind of the precursor, right? Transistors, all of that, and then after work, they would go to a bar, right? Mm-hmm. It was a bar. It was called the Wagon Wheel. It was a bar. Yes. Well, it was a bar all decorated with like a old farm, like wagon wheels and all this kind of thing. So people would go to this bar, and to drink and have food, all that, and then that's where they would be introduced to other people, right? And that's how Silicon Valley started, right? So in sharing food. So a couple of things here, right? So when Edson said here that we worked together to go to Java 1, for example, right? So that's the first time that he did an international talk, right? And so and the reason was because me and Vinicius, we had a talk approved at Java 1, and we're looking for someone that wanted to do the talk with us, right? Because Vinicius was very busy, right? I was very busy, and we needed someone that was willing to help us out on doing the talk, right? So Edson was the guy that said, I'm willing to, I can do it. I can make it work. And so a lot of it's because it's not meeting people. It's not about you. It's about them, right? So when you think about them, when you go near the food, right? You're thinking about, so everyone needs food, so I'll be where everyone needs, right? That's why you should be, right? So who do you want to meet? What are the people that you want to be close to? For example, we are here. You started by saying that you're not a developer. I don't care. That doesn't matter. But why did you start saying this? Because you came to a place where full of developers, right? So if you want to meet developers, like I work with developers. That's the work that I do. She hires developers, right? So where do we come? We come to a place that's full of developers, right? That's the same thing. So whoever you want to meet, you go to the place where those people are. You don't try to force them to come to you. You go to where they are. So you think of them, right? So what is the thing that you can do for others? What is the thing that you can help other people? How can you help the people that you want to be close to? Because in the end, that's it. Everyone, because everyone is thinking about themselves. If you think about them, you're different. Make sense? So my suggestion to you is that find out, who do you want to meet? Do you want to meet developers? That's why you're here, because you want to meet developers. That's great, because now it's a good place to meet developers and say hello to people, right? Get interested in what they have to say. Don't be the guy that wants to talk about you. Be the guy that wants to ask questions. That's why I think, Edson started by saying that he's an introvert, right? And I think the introvert has a has a secret weapon, right? Here's our secret weapon. We spend the whole time in our lives just listening because we don't have courage to say anything, right? And so we just listen. And that's great because now that you are able to listen, you can ask questions for others and you listen. Right? Now, the other person is also an introvert. So he doesn't want to say anything. But if you ask questions, he's willing to answer your questions. So now you can have a conversation, right? And I understand that many people are afraid of reaching out, afraid to come. But here's a second secret weapon that introverts have. We spend our whole life paying attention at the extroverts, right? We don't know, we are not extroverts, but we know exactly what the extrovert does. The opposite's not true. My wife is a very extrovert, and she just doesn't understand why can't you talk to people when she talks to me. She doesn't understand how it works because extroverts are not paying attention at the guy that's quiet. But you that's quiet, you are paying attention at the extroverts. So you know exactly what to do to be like them if you want to. So when you come to an event, you don't have courage, you are introvert, but at the events, you will behave a little bit like an extrovert. You're gonna ask questions. You're gonna say hello, right? You're gonna say, oh, the food is taking too long. You're gonna be the one that's gonna initiate the conversation. Because if you don't, everyone around you doesn't initiate it. Make sense?
Oh,
All right.
I was going to add that introverts, it's not true that they don't like to talk. They don't want to reach out.
Yes.
But everybody loves to talk about themselves.
Right.
Everybody loves to talk about the things that they love. So if you're an introvert and you find an introvert, if you find a common subject that you can talk about, the person can talk about hours. That's what happens with me. My family complains a lot. That once I never talk, but once I start talking, I never stop.
Right.
So it works. It's a tip.
Yeah. All right, but we have to stop talking because we're gonna get to a couple more questions. Who else?
There's one question
No,
in the chat.
there's one question. Okay, go ahead for the chat. So, guys in the chat.
So the question comes from Leticia Mancio.
Hey, Leticia, how are you doing?
I work for a U.S. company. I see that the best salaries are for reallocation positions.
Talk here so they hear you speak.
So the question comes from Leticia Mancio. She said, I work for a U.S. company. I see that the best salaries are for good reallocation positions. Is there any way to achieve the same salary range working remotely from Brazil?
Okay. Do you want to start with that? Can you say anything about that, or?
Yeah, I don't know your perspective about it, but okay, you're receiving in US dollars, but you want the same big bucks that people are making in the US. But on the other hand, if you relocate, you're going to pay in US dollars as well. So there's a certain threshold where I think it's worth it. And you really need to decide if moving abroad is really your thing. Because I'm not gonna lie and tell you that it is easy. You're leaving a lot of things behind. You're leaving your family, your friends, everyone you knew, the challenge of going to a different country, speaking a different language, where everything is different. The first 6 months I moved, I used to have headaches every single day because it would be a different problem every single, and simple things. Oh, I need to put gas in the car. I need a driver's license. I need to buy medication. Yeah? I need to go find a pharmacy. And then you realize that you don't buy medication there like you buy here. It's completely different.
I'm sorry, but she was asking about archive the same salary range work remotely.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, we're gonna
yeah, that's okay. We're gonna get.
So I don't think it's worth to the company to. they're paying US salaries because the person has a US cost. And to compete in the US market, they are paying US salaries. For them, from a company perspective, and I might be completely wrong about it, I don't think they would pay the same big bucks that they pay in the US, because they don't have to. Because here, your cost is much lower, and they're competing with the local market. So it's a market thing. Like, there are people, because your cost is lower, the money is probably more meaningful to you. So they don't have the incentive to be paying the same salaries that they would. Even myself, like, if I moved to New York City or California, I would be making 20% more. And I tell that for me, it's not worth it. And I understand the company pays what the local market is paying. And I'm happy to accept that, because my cost, for example, is 50% lower. So in the end, I'm making more money than if I would be working in these two big centers.
Now, there's a few ways to look at this question, right? So first of all, if you're working for a big company, like we're here, Oracle or Google or one of those companies, that they have offices everywhere, right? So, Google or Oracle or Microsoft, whatever, they're not going to pay you in Brazil in dollars, because they have an office here. So legally, they have to pay you here in reals, right? So there's going to be a difference there. So if you want to work remotely and make big bucks, right, and make similar salary outside, then you can't work for one of those big companies. You have to work for smaller companies, right? So that's one thing. The second thing, Edson is 100% right. It's a question of competition, right? So, for example, if I can come to Brazil and there is 100 amazing developers and I can choose one of those, and because I'm paying in dollars, I can choose some of the best ones, right? I don't need to pay the same thing that I have to pay in the US, of course, because I'm going to have 100 good developers that's going to make good money if I pay them in dollars here. Now, here's the thing. What if I'm trying to find this one person that everyone wants to hire, right? So the one person that everyone wants to hire, that one person, we're going to have to pay them high US dollar salaries, no matter where they live, because we need them. So it's a question of competition. If you are one of many, you are worth less. But if you are the one guy, then you're worth more, right? So a good example of that is a friend of ours, right, that we're actually working with you in Red Hat, Andres Galante, right? So Andres, he was one of the 9 committers of Bootstrap. Who knows Bootstrap, the project here? So everyone knows Bootstrap. Everyone uses it, right? So he's one of the 9 people in the world that can commit to Bootstrap. So everyone wants him, right? So Andres makes director-level salaries in San Francisco, but he lives in Argentina, right? Because he is a one of a kind. It doesn't matter where he lives. Companies want to pay him. So the question that you have to ask yourself is how. It's very, very hard, right? What Andres did, it's very special what he did, right? But my point is, you have to think about what can you do to be desirable, right? If you heard well what Edson told here, he got a call when he was in Java 1, he got a call on his US phone number. There's a temporary number that he bought a SIM card. No one has his number, and someone called him there to hire him for Red Hat, right? And then Google called him and said, apply, please. So when you are desirable, when people want you, then you can go after the big numbers. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly the same, because maybe it doesn't need to be the same, right? But you can go after the big numbers if you separate yourself. Okay? We're already late here. One more question. Last question? No more questions there? Yeah. Leticia, does that help? One more question here, guys, for you. Go ahead.
I have a question.
Yes.
So my name is Bruno. Nice to meet you.
Hey, Bruno. Nashmit Shara.
And my question is, based on your answer now, so what can I do, what can I make to be a desirable professional in the beginning of my career?
Okay, good. You know, we can be desirable in lots of levels of our career, right? Even in the very beginning. You want to start with that, and I'll finish, or?
Well, you need to be visible, and I think we said that multiple times.
I actually have a gift for everyone that's gonna give a good answer for this question.
I know one thing that helped me, and I know that can help a lot of people, for example, is open source. If you try to contribute to open source projects, first you learn a lot because you need to read code that was written for probably some of the best developers in the world. You can learn a lot from reading open source. And if you have the chance to contribute to something, to be part of a group, to join the mailing lists, that's how people start to recognize your name. This guy is asking a lot of questions. Maybe he's just annoying, or maybe he wants to help, because these people working in open source projects, they're desperate for help. So maybe he's asking so much, maybe we could give him a chance. And then when a company that is using that particular open source project asks those developers, because they're already employed, is there someone that could help me with this particular one? There's this new guy from the list that's in the beginning he used to be just annoying, but now he's asking smart questions.
He's helping out.
So maybe that's a point. That's one way doing open source, like trying. And I think no amount of knowledge is too small that is not helpful to anyone. And you can try to share in a user group, in an event, something that you discovered by yourself. And because you had this moment, this epiphany, it works, it's helpful. Maybe it could help other people. If it's not relevant to other people, you won't be accepted, and it's okay. But maybe you are. You never know until you try. Maybe then some people will find you, and that's the same story that I told you.
Yeah, I know. Visibility is very, very important, right? So, I think what you need to build is a little bit more than visibility, because as part of that visibility, you need to build your reputation, right? And so that's what I'm going to show you guys here, because I have here a gift for everyone. I have what I call the reputation formula, right? 7 things you need to do to increase your reputation, 3 things you need to decrease to increase your reputation. I'm going to give to all of you here, right? So trust, visibility, it's one of them, right? But what you need to do is that is build a reputation. What is reputation? Reputation is what people believe about you, right? And so if you are a helpful person, people are going to believe that you're a helpful person, right? And so Edson said, for example, you can share something that you know, some insight that you have. Of course, if you have an insight, that's great. But we never have insights, right? We don't even know what we're doing here, right? So we never have insights. But here's the thing. You are here watching, 2 Java champions, a recruiter, an amazing developer. We have lots of, you're watching people here. The person from Oracle. What did you learn here? What did we say that connect with you? Because you can go back, right? It's the beginning of your career. Are you a developer right now? Are you a junior developer? Are you a student? What you are? You're a junior developer, right? So you can go back to your company and say, guys, I watched yesterday a great presentation and I learned this thing here. It doesn't even need to be like an original idea. You have to share what you know. The idea is not to share some new things. Share what you know. And you learned something today, share right now. Get right now, take a picture and post on social media. But not just take a picture and post on social media like lots of people do. We're making jokes there, people taking pictures, right? And so people come in and say, let's take a picture. And they go take a picture and put on social media. It's me with someone else. That's great for you saying this, but why do I care? Why me? Yeah, so why me? That's seeing that picture. Why do I care? What do? You put a picture, but you say something. Ed Chianaga said this at the event. You know, I was showing this to my mentees a couple of days ago. I have a tweet that I posted during Java 1, right? And it had 140,000 views, right? And, you know, the numbers were kind of crazy, right? And it's not me saying anything. Is that, you know, I took a picture from the guy from Microsoft and I wrote on his said and put on Twitter. Right? Because what happens? There's thousands of people that were not there. There's way more people that are not here than people that are here. Right? So even though this is being recorded, being transmitted, there's lots of people that not know what we're saying here. If you get that one phrase that makes sense, not to anyone, to the people that you want to be visible to. That's the question. Who needs to know you? Right? Most of times, we publish things because we want to be seen by our friends. I don't care about our friends. They're great, right? So I love them, right? You know, you spend time, your friends, you don't put things on social media for your friends. You call your friends to go visit them in their house. Like last week, I was in Edson Yanaga's house in the US, right? You know, you go there, you talk to them, you do things with them. That's what you do with friends, right? On social media, you build an audience. You figure out who needs to hear from you. And that's something that you can think about. Who needs to hear from you? You want to show up in the beginning of your career. You know, you want to have good, what do you want? You want to have a good job, right? Our friend in the back, he is a security guy. So he wants to have a good job on security. So it doesn't help if you go talk about non-security things on social media, right? He wants to go talk about security because why? He wants to be close to other security guys, right? You know, a good example is, where's Luis? Luis is gone.
Outside. Yeah.
Luis, I'm talking about you. Come here. Come on. I'm going to use him as an example. He's not even here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to use you as an example, and you're not even watching the talk. That's terrible. So, Luis, for example, Luis just went to Java 1, right? He's a community leader. He was there in the middle of other community leaders. But not only that, Luis talked to the guy. No, he plays, what do you play? Lots of things. What instruments do you play? Guitar. So Luis plays guitar. So he went to the New Pointers. New Pointers is a band made by developers, Java developers, that plays at Java 1. So he went to the New Pointers and say, I also play guitar. Can I help you out? You know, I will train with you. If there is any chance, I'll play a little bit with you. So now what happens? Luis was playing in the band at Java 1 with lots of the people from the New Pointers. Now, who were the people New Pointers? All of them are Java champions. Right? So now Luis is visible to a bunch of Java champions. Right? Now everyone's watching the band and say, oh, it's a band formed by Java champions. And Luis right there. Right? He's now part of the team. Right? So it's not unreasonable that sometime in the future, when someone suggests Luis as a Java champion, the other Java champion is going to say, yes, I even thought he was a Java champion because he played with us. So that's what you want. You want to be seen by the people that will make a difference for you. Right? Now, you have to think about who those people are. Because if you don't think about who those people are, there's no way you can write for them. Make sense? So, you know, people that follow me knows that I send you guys an email every single day. Right? Yeah. Right? So now when people ask me, so how do you write this? Because when I write in the email, I'm thinking of you. Right? I'm thinking of you, developers. professionals with many years of career. That's my audience. Senior, post-senior developers with many years of career. So for me, when Adson comes here and said, oh, I read your email this morning, right? When one of the top evangelists from Oracle messaged me and said, oh, I love your email that you sent this today. When a Java champion sent me, like a Java champion sent me this morning and said, oh, Bruno, that was great, great to hear about that from you. So it's because the right people are listening to what I'm saying. But for that, you have to think of them. Because it's not about you. It's not about you taking a picture and posting that you are with someone else. It's that you thinking about your audience and saying, what do my audience needs to hear? From everything that Bruno said here, from everything that Edson Yanaga said here, what my audience needs to hear. And you're going to be the person that is going to make this connection. Make sense? All right, so we're very, very late now. I'm gonna distribute the reputation formula so you guys can take a look. The reputation formula is perfect to put on the laptop. Looks awesome on the laptop, but also is done in the perfect size to put in the cell phone, right? So you never forget the reputation. Okay, so thanks so much, my friends. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, everyone online. Right, for people online, that's reputation formula. All right. Okay, good. All right. Thank you. Okay. Luis, it's you here. Oh. Give the microphone to them. Come on. Apresenta ela lá.
Basicamente só falar o nome, cara? Tá em PDF. Tá no. Você vê no alt-tab. Só que tem que ir. Você falou que tá.
Show on the screen.
You're so smart.
Can I put like...
The guy that only talks about himself. All right. Yes. All right.
Huh?
So
he's trying to put in a full screen mode.
So for some people to raise their hands, me and Luis, we're helping people out with their careers, right? So I work with people that have over 15 years of career. If that's you and you want to have a conversation, I'm offering for you right now a free one-on-one conversation with me. I was doing this in the US. I just came back here.
Can I just, if I just do like this?
Over 15 years of career. No,
It's fine. I think that it's
now,
not a problem.
10 years of career. 10 years of career. So if you have, if you're a senior developer, about 10 years of career, Luis is going to do the same thing, right? Because me and him, we just traveled the U.S. We traveled to 11 cities in the U.S. And we're offering them there to help them out their careers, right? So, we're going to do the same thing for you guys. So anyone's interested, you have to find us before the event ends, so we can give you a QR code for you to schedule a conversation with us, okay? All right, thank you. All right. You want one too?
Yes, of course.
No. To your friends.
Okay. It's a little bit hard. Okay, team. So now we are going to have the second talk of this night with Anastasia Prozor, Head of Operations Latam at Sigma Software. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm
I'm surprisingly nervous today, and talking after Bruno and Professor in the past, that didn't help at all. Like, to be honest, in this process. And actually, Bruno, like, I've never seen the more extrovertish introvert in my life than you are. So, you know, it's not fair to say that you're an introvert.
We practice a lot to pretend.
You hide very well, you know?
We know very well how to pretend.
Okay, I don't believe that we have lots of time, and surprisingly have lots of pages. So I'll try to make it, like, you know, short and sweet at the end of the day, and take as many questions as it's possible. Microphone is fine? Okay, perfect. So just like, I don't want to do like lots of things about myself, because apparently it's very bad for your reputation based on the slider and sticker. But in general, why I'm talking about hiring an international career, because I've been working for the last 12 years doing basically interviews almost every day. I can speak louder. Unfortunately, not that good at speaking very loud, Bruno. But I think that, like, you know, I hope that it's fine if somebody doesn't hear me, but we have like 5 chairs here, and you can switch a seat a little bit here. So like what I'm doing, basically I'm doing the hiring process. I'm on the side of the hiring managers who are making decision if you guys, after all the technical stages and all the interviews, are going to make it in the company. And what I want to talk a little bit more about is just like, in general, whenever we are interviewing some candidates from the different locations, and it's not only like Brazil, it's lots of countries in Europe, in United States and Canada, etc. Like sometimes, especially actually in Brazil, and people who just start international company, like they quite often say that like one of the motivation to actually get to the interview, it's like start international career. And it's a great goal, and I love it very much. But when you start asking people what does international career means for you, quite often, like one of the reasons, I want to practice more English in my daily work and in my daily routine. And international career, it's not about English at all. In general, like international career, it's quite a complex thing. And basically it means that you will cooperate with lots of different cultures and lots of different companies and teams at the same time. So you will work, it has like lots of components inside. Like you will have people from the different countries, from the different time zones. Like someone will work at the time when you're sleeping, someone like, you know, will start working at the time when you're just like finishing your job. And it takes a lot to mingle all of that at the same time. So if we're talking about, you know, what makes a difference, it actually, like, you know, the way how you behave yourself, the way how you position yourself, like something that the guys talked, it's something that makes this difference between I pass the technical interview and almost got hired to the moment when you actually get hired by the company. And I made some kind of like a formula. If we're talking about, like, you know, what we actually take a look at, not only on the CV, like 3 things that are like very important for us. It's like if you actually can do the job, and we can talk a lot about like the mindset and putting yourself together and building reputation, which is like very, very important. But at the end of the day, the initial stage, we need to ensure that you can actually do something that you're committing on, that you're going to do that. The second thing is actually your character, like your mindset, your persona. And it's something that we are talking about if, okay, now I have some words that I don't want to say. So if something like goes completely terrible and wrong, like would I be able, I don't know, like we just erase the whole database, like we put down the production. Can I call you in the middle of the night and ask you for your help? It's not something that's gonna happen, but I need to know that I have people in my team to whom I can rely on in case like when the situations are very, very difficult. And the third thing, and it's like one of the most important thing, I'm building the team. Like I have people who have been working with me like for a while right now. I want my team to feel comfortable. I want us to, like, you know, to work comfortably together. Like, can you work in the team and can you do it effectively? Like, will I don't know, like, will you shut down and just like not talking to anyone because you don't, I don't know, like, you're too shy, you're too introvert or something, or like, will you put yourself out there and actually like, you know, help each other, like ask for the help? It's actually also very, very important. So I just like made some examples in terms of like, you know, the behavioral in the interview. When we're talking like, you know, about the mindset and putting yourself out there, it's also like about presenting yourself in the right way. And right now, there's like a good phrase, which is kind of like, I don't know, maybe a little bit outdated already, especially like with AI, or it's actually even more actual with AI, that like nobody's looking for people who can code right now. It's not that important. Like, we don't need developers who develop. Like, we need developers who can build the products. It doesn't matter, like, we need security specialists, developers, QA, designers, etc. Especially right now, I mean, like with Claude, you can build application within 1 hour. But to think what to put in the request, how to do it, how to analyze, and how to make it right, it's not that simple. So we need someone like who will think about what they're doing and why they're doing it. So basically, like, there are 3 things. It's like skills, communication, and the feeling of the ownership. This is also like something very important. Like, do you actually care about what you're doing? And what I mean, and it's still strange for me to hear that. Like, whenever I'm talking to the person, I'm just like, yeah, like, tell me about yourself. Like, you know, what are you doing recently on your last project? And we have like lots of details about how I built this and that, and what kind of technology I used, and what kind of framework, etc. And then you have like a follow-up question, like, okay, if I'm like end user, what kind of product I'm receiving because of the work that you've done? And this is something that is sometimes make people kind of lost, because it's very hard for them to explain what exactly they built, what was their influence, how they impacted, like, you know, how the work that you are doing today will impact your product tomorrow. And it shouldn't be like, you know, that huge, like, you know, that big, and we just, I don't know, change the world because of that or something like that. It can be very small, but you need to understand, like, you know, what is the meaning behind every action that you're doing in your job and putting yourself out there. It's very important for me whenever like I'm talking to the people. So if we're talking about the projects and what the clients says, like what the, I don't know, product companies says, etc., there are like some things that are very, very important. Like, it's time zone flexibility. Whenever you're working with a company that is outside, it doesn't matter, like if it's like US-based company in California, which is like the worst time zone ever, then you might have like some companies in Sweden, and I used to live in Seattle, like I know what I'm talking about. Like in Sweden, in India, whatsoever, like most likely the bigger the company, the more like different countries you would have in the same team. And you need to be flexible. Flexible doesn't mean that you need to change your time zone like completely in terms of working. Flexible means that sometimes like we need to do something not comfortable, like starting at 7 a.m. working, like that was for me, being flexible. But sometimes like, you know, keeping a little bit late to make sure that we actually have a chance to have like 15, 30 minutes talk with another team. We need to communicate. And we're all the time like talking about communication. And whenever like we're talking about clear communication, it's not just about this kind of talk, you know, like me feeling nervous about that. It's a little bit like about another. So whenever you just like need to ensure that you can create this clear and absolutely constant flow of communication from the morning till the end. Like what you start doing with, like whenever like you start your day, what are you going to work on? Within a day, like what are you doing? When you finish, like what you've done and what you're going to do tomorrow. It's not micromanagement. Like it's just the ability, you create the environment when people understand where you're at and understand what's happening in the project and in the team. And it's like something very simple, but sometimes like very hard at the same time, especially like when you're like dive very, very deep into your thoughts, like, you know, you're like, I don't know, have a complicated task for several hours. It's important to make check-ins because people who is like outside on the other part of the, I don't know, world, they don't see you. They don't know what they're doing, what you're doing. And then sometimes can feel that I don't know, you're out, you're like focusing on something else and etc. And it creates a barrier between you and the team. Though at the same time, it's very important to be independent, which is sometimes like, I don't know, confrontational, I might feel. But you need to be able, like, not to rely on your team all the time, because again, they can be like on the different part of the world. And cultural nuances. I know that sometimes it might feel that it's not that important, but like whenever you're working with another company, like you need to understand where this company came from. Like each culture, each country, they have their own specific of communication. Like something that might be extremely, I don't know, acceptable here might be extremely offensive in another culture. And in opposite way, like sometimes something that, like the feedback, how the, I don't know, American companies give the feedback here might be extremely offensive to you, but they don't mean anything bad, because like this is the way how they operate. We have the team in Uzbekistan, which is like a Middle East. And if I behave there like I'm behaving here, I think that half of the team will leave the company right tomorrow, just because like they are very different, because of the very different reasons. You don't need to be the expert in this culture. Like I'm still learning about Brazil. Like I'm still learning Portuguese, which is very bad. That's why I'm talking in English. But at the same time, like knowing some kind of small things that is acceptable for the culture, like it's important. The earlier you start, like, discovering that and understanding it, the easier it will be for you, not only to get the job, but actually to keep this job in the future. This is example. Okay. I feel that, I talk lots about communication, and I just like want to make an emphasis like one more time that if you're not talking to the team, like this is the most expensive thing that you can do for the company, because like sometimes we can miss the moment. Like when we could have a quick chat within 5 minutes, we can solve something extremely quickly and solve the whole situation. Instead of that, we're just like, waiting for time, looking for people, searching for answers. And it can, I don't know, lead to the failed deadline in terms of the delivery. It can lead to the not answered, like, critical ticket from the main customer that you might have in the company, and etc. So like ensure that you are talking constantly to your team, and the team knows, like, where you're standing here at. I have quite a lot of tables here. But I will not stop here. Like, I feel that I covered most of that. If you want, you can make a picture. It's something that is what we are looking for, what we really don't want to hear on the interviews and at the work as well. At the same time, like I want to share some example, because you know that it's very hard, like whenever you're a junior engineer, you're like middle engineer, you're just beginning your career. Sometimes we hear that, like, I don't have enough experience to be the part of US company. I don't have enough experience to be the part of, I don't know, Google, whatever. Sometimes like the vibe, the persona, the way how you communicate beats the experience. We actually, we have one of the clients, it's like top 500 Fortune companies. It's like one of the biggest companies. They had, they don't have 6 months interview like Google has, but they have quite a complicated interviewing process. Like it's extremely hard to find people there. Like in total, people usually have around 8-10 interviews. And we are looking for the best of the best to provide to them. We have quite a big team there. So each person is incredibly smart and incredibly talented. But at the same time, like they all have incredible persona. And not all of them are seniors, actually. At the end of the day, some of them even are juniors. And we had a situation where we were looking for at least senior Golang engineer here in Brazil. 9 years was like the minimum that they were going for. They were not ready like to find anyone, to hire anyone who's less than that. And we met a guy, and this is actually answering the question, how can you put yourself out there in terms of the meeting people, especially like if you are still junior, you don't feel that you can talk on the conferences. We met a guy on the conference who was extremely active. Like he was just like, I don't know, the sun in the room. He was junior, like very junior, very shy, never worked in any international company. But at the same time, like he was really, really eager. And he was doing some like small talks. He was helping, like, moving the community here in the city. And we're just like, yeah, I mean, I really, really liked him. And we talked to him, we had the interview, but it was obvious that, I mean, it's not even close. Like, it's not something that we're all looking for. At the same time, he made such a huge mark that at some moment of the time, I called my client and said, look, I know that this is what you're looking for, like, but I have this guy and you would be happy to have him. And they trusted me and we hired him. And this is like, one of the happiest person in the team. At the same time, like he contributes one of the best person who contributes to the team. So sometimes like your experience is not that important. Like the way how you can put yourself is a little bit more important at that. Something happened here. I don't know. So this, like, some advice how you can stand out in terms of your profile or on the interview. You can try to, each experience, basically, each project that you worked on, it can be trepanated into this, like, small things. So try to, like, whenever you're going the speech about your experience and what you've done, try to convert it. Like, use the different phrases. Ask ChatGPT to help you. It's actually pretty easy and, like, 2 minutes exercise right now. This is like, small things. Most likely, if you're going for international career, you're using online interviews. And this is like personal ask from my side. There is some kind of etiquette of how you're, like, doing the interviews. And it actually can affect the way how people evaluate you and how people, what kind of perception people have of you. Please turn on the camera. Ensure that you have, if you have like 2 monitors, ensure that you have the camera on the monitor on the same screen that the person that you're talking to actually has on. Or like if you're doing live coding, it's on the same laptop or like on the same monitor where you have the camera on. It sounds extremely stupid and not important. But at the same time, if you're just like, turning yourself away from the camera and doing something here, it looks either impolite or at the same time, it looks that you're actually not that interested in talking to another person. So it's just like a small thing, not that huge importance, but like very important at the end of the day. I guess I talked a lot, but I tried to make it brief. So this is all from my side. We all have QR codes. So a little bit more from our side. Have you put alarm on how long I need to talk? Time is off. I don't know if you have any questions, but I would be happy to answer some of them.
Questions in the chat?
Awesome. Okay. If there is no question, there is a question. Sorry. Well, we'll do your question next. Mm-hmm.
Microphone.
So I was always saying, since she was talking about what is interesting in a person to the international market, I would like to understand, we've talked here about going into events and trying to know people face to face, but is LinkedIn, for instance, not just LinkedIn, you have other means to do this, but is LinkedIn, should, for instance, me put a lot of effort, let's say, into trying to reach people externally in my LinkedIn? Externally, I mean internationally, sorry. What do I mean by that? I have a work here in Brazil. I work for a Brazilian company. And if I try to reach people that are not Brazilians, I am making a sacrifice. I think you understand. I'm trying to reach people that are English speakers, for instance. And some people that might also be interesting are not English speakers, but they are Brazilians and they could have opportunities. this is a sacrifice I gotta make. Do you think it makes sense for me to make this sacrifice more, not just going into events and trying to meet people that could have those opportunities, but make this sacrifice online? That's what I mean. Makes sense. Would a recruiter find that attractable? Would that make sense? Or would, like, that doesn't really matter if they can translate in LinkedIn? So if you're putting good content, that's what means. That's what matters. Sorry.
I got your question. I think it's valid. What I think that it depends on what you're looking for. Like, what is your final goal? Like, if the goal is just like, receive the job right now, and it doesn't matter like if it's international, if it's a local company, etc. I would try to focus maybe on something, like one thing, not like, cut the elephant on the parts and like chew the parts, not like, the whole elephant all at once. I also think that in general, I mean, LinkedIn has this button translate to other language.
Yeah.
So I don't believe that if people don't speak English, like they can't translate what you wrote. At the same time, for example, for me as a person who like interviewing people from the different countries, like I also have this possibility. Like I can translate from Portuguese to English, like just one click. It doesn't affect my perception of the person. At the same time, like for example, if I see that the person have been working like for the last 10 years for the different companies, I might have some like small question in my mind, like if they actually speak English, if they don't speak English, like if it's something that is, I don't know, will be a problem or not. But at the same time, like whenever I'm going to Brazil for the candidates, I would expect people to write in Portuguese. I mean, it's not something that is extremely strange for me. So yeah, like I would say that define your goal, like maybe prioritize for yourself, what do you want better? Like, what do you want more? Like if I really, really want to have a job like here in Brazil, but I'm open to international opportunities, like I would write in Portuguese and that's enough. If you feel that you really, really want to have like international career, but it's okay, like if it's going to be like, Brazilian company, then maybe like focus on creating the content in English, because at the end of the day, like both of the sites will be able to translate it. It's just like it will show where your focus at right now for the company. And Camila here is nodding her head, so I feel that I'm saying something smart.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that everyone refers to you. It's just like, you're sitting on the first row, and usually this is like the most active. You had a question. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. A great presentation, by the way. I think it's two questions. First, it's AI doing all the first layer job for recruiters, and we need to invest a lot of time on being better positioned in the algorithms rank. And the second question, when it comes to you and you receive a CV or you receive a LinkedIn page, what is like the most red flag or green flag that you see right in there? It's like what is the visual of a CV? It's a model that it's easy to you to look and make a decision if you will look forward with one candidate or another, or what to like look for in the first 30 seconds, 60 seconds.
Okay, got it. I think that it was counted at some moment of the time that usually people spend not more than 30 seconds looking at CV, or actually 15, something like that. So it's a bit less, no pressure. So the first question was about algorithms. I think that everyone, like the bigger the company, the more algorithms they're using like to process CV. If we're talking about, for example, US-based companies, like they definitely, the first layer is going through some, it was even like before AI, they had some programs that just like, filter it and trying to parse your CV on some important, like looking for the keywords. And like in US, they actually have some kind of like, standard type of formatting the CV. And like they don't read PDF well. They read only like, this kind of like Word docs, like they don't do 2 columns. Like there are like some things, if you like specifically want to go to Google, like you actually need to Google how to like, how to format your CV so it will not be rejected because it's like the wrong type of formatting. If we're talking about like smaller companies, I think that the more and more companies are using AI to do the first level. It's something that helps a lot like recruitment into their work. Though at the same time, and I know that it's unfair, the more complicated positions, the more chances you'll have to be reviewed by the real person at this moment of the time. So like if we're looking about, I don't know, and again, I know that it's not fair, but like if you're intern in the company, most likely your position will have like 2,000 people who would just like, send you CV. And it's impossible to go through all 2,000 and actually find the right person. So like AI 100%. If it's some kind of, I don't know, pink elephant with some diamond on the side, I bet like, each recruiter will go through your CV like hand by hand to ensure that you actually look like a pink elephant. And it's something that we finally found. So yes and no. The second question regarding CV, honestly, maybe it's me personally, I don't really care that much about the formatting. Also, like most of the clients don't care that much about like the visual thing. Like you can put it, I saw some terrible CVs, don't do that, but like, you can, yeah, I think that like the most important thing that I'm usually looking at is just like, if I'm able to catch the bad idea of the CV like within the first 10 seconds. Like if you have experience since 1991, like don't put all your projects that you've been working, if it's like been, I don't know, like 40 of them, like nobody will read this, never. In terms of the red flags, I don't like job hoppers. So like for me, like the shorter projects, like the shorter period of the time you've been to the company, like it's a red flag. Like especially if it's kind of I don't know, a tendency. So for the last 4 years, you've changed 4, 6, 8 companies. For me, it's a big question mark. I know that some of the markets like have specifics. Like for example, here, as Camila to tell me all the time, that if it's been like, US-based type of company, usually they have 1-year contract, and like that's why a person actually changing their project every year. But for me, still, it's hard. So like, I would appreciate seeing the reasoning maybe. If it's like your case, then maybe like, try to explain what's happened. So the person would actually understand that it's not the way how you behave. It's just like, the way how you experienced happened to be. Drastic changes in technologies. I think that like, when you have one project for 1 year and you have everything there, just like from Java to Delphi to all the frameworks in the world, like in front end and etc. Like sometimes we see it when project, I don't know, like you did one small feature on this technology and then you put it there, and it just like it mixing up everything. So I wouldn't do that. So just like short, clean version, and that's a green flag for me.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
First of all, great talk. I really appreciate. And second, let's think in a profession that followed all of your notes in the presentation. If he found an international job, how he can be able to keep up and stand out as a available professional in the company. So I think that he needs to follow these rules as well, but maybe there is some of them that that are more important. What is your thought about?
Thank you for the question. It's actually a very good question. I think that and I might be wrong, and I'm sorry in advance. I think that sometimes, like what we have sometimes with my teammates from Brazil, they feel that for the first couple of months, they need to be kind of invisible. Like, don't talk too much. I'm new here. Like, I'm not, we have people who have higher seniority, who have been with the company like forever. So we just need to wait, like do our job, like do it good. But at the same time, don't, I don't know, make yourself like really up there and put yourself up there, because they're like afraid that they will be considered as arrogant, or that they're sharing their experience when somebody is like more senior in the team or something. So I think that is like one of the biggest mistake in general. Whenever like you're joining the company, you're joining the team, if you really don't feel comfortable putting yourself out there right away, just like ask if it's okay for people if you do that. But in most cases scenario, you actually need to start talking more and having more attention, like asking questions, like suggesting your ideas, sharing your feedback in terms of like, what do you think about this type of architecture? If it's some kind of retrospective session and you didn't even have a chance to be the part of everything what been developed there, just share your experience. You're most likely here for a reason. And especially right now, like nobody is hiring someone just to do, I don't know, a simple job, just to fix bugs or something. If they hired you, they saw something in you. Most likely they liked your, I don't know, way of thinking. They liked your experience. They feel that you will be valuable for the team. And if you think that, now it's your time to prove it. Because for them, it also can be, we hired this amazing, bright person who was looking at the camera and making jokes and sharing all the stories about themselves, and then he disappeared for some reasons. So this is something that I would advise. And again, if you don't feel comfortable, just like ask if it's okay. Thank you.
One question from the chat.
Yes.
So the question comes from Vinicius Guima. I will try to remake the question, okay? There's some mistakes here and something I don't understand. So by the context, here in Brazil, managers often requires faster and faster code delivers. So Brazilian soft developers making a lot of gambiarra. In America, you can say workaround or do a MacGyver. So that's how it works here. So
the question is challenging,
yeah, but yeah,
Got it.
a lot of shortcuts. So
All right.
so in America, how do they work? They used to work like that, or they have high quality delivers.
Do you want a funny answer? Or do you want like a real one? I don't know. Like I will continue looking here. Thank you for the question. It's like, have you tried to use some of the applications? Have you ever tried to use Teams, Microsoft? Thank you so much for my friend who is developing it. No, I mean, like, it depends. It's I don't know if you really want the serious answer. I mean, it depends on the company. If it's like startup, everyone really doesn't care what kind of quality you would have. Let's do it quickly and just like put it in the production. If it's something big and nice and shiny and beautiful, maybe not Microsoft Teams. But like then you would put lots of effort there, and you would actually try to avoid all the shortcuts. But you can also like take a look at the code of the company and see what is the way how they used to work. Some photo session happening here. It's okay, like you can.
So guys, any questions so far?
No, good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Can I use your laptop for a second? It's not yours?
It's mine.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So, so guys, just one last, oops, here, right? Just one last thing, 2 seconds, because the pizza is there, right? So we're gonna go for pizza right now. But one thing that we're talking about, career, building an international career, all of that. One of the things that SouJava is doing, we do have a group of people that, as you know, everything that we do here in SouJava is free, so you can come here, it's all free, etc. But we do have a group of people that we call the associates of SouJava, right? And the associates of SouJava are people that are helping us maintain the group, right? Because SouJava has costs, right? So those people that are helping us maintain the group. So for those people here, we run a series of mentorships. So every month we have a different mentorship with, many of them are international mentorships, many of them are Java champions. We have me and me and Elder Moraes. I kind of, I have Edson, Elder with H, right? Elder without H, Elder with H, right? It's like, okay. Anyway, me and Elder Moraes, right? We do a career mentorship for this group, right? We have a Discord, a special Discord channel for this group to participate. So so if you want to be close to those guys, right? And lots of people are asking, how do I get close to them, right? Our friend over there, how do I get close to people, right? So it's an opportunity for you to do this. So that's the website here. We have a 30% discount right now for you guys, right? And so you have several workshops, right? So there's a site that you have access, right? There's an exclusive site. So if you want to do this, the site is eu.soujava.org.br. eu.soujava.org.br. If you want to, just go there and you can register to be a SouJava associate, right? It's helping us, and we're gonna do all that we can to help you. Okay. All right. So if you can put on the chat, please.
Sure.
Yeah, no, there's no. I usually put a QR code on the page, but that one doesn't have. And so yes, but it should be a QR code. And if you want, so I'll give a QR code. How about that? I'll put a QR code. Right. So if you want, I wrote a book called The Developer Career Master Plan, right? That is, it has 15 steps for you to build your career. And I wrote this book with Heather Vancouver. She's one of the most influential persons in the Java world, right? So she's responsible for the JCP, the Java Community Process. So if you are interested, I do have, let me put a link here. Oops, wrong URL. careermasterplan.dev. No? Oh man, it's missing an N. This keyboard is kind of weird. Oops, no. Okay. All right. So now this one has a QR code, right? So, so if you go here on this QR code, careermasterplan.dev, you get the first chapter for free, and I will send you. I wrote several articles about the 15 chapters. So if you download the first chapter for free, I'll send you the other articles, so you have a lot of the insights from the book for free. Okay. So just come here if you want that. All right. So thanks everyone that's online. Thanks for all the team here that's organized everything, and pizza is served. You did not come here with us. You were watching remotely. So hopefully you're going to order pizza for yourself, because if you had come here, you would have free pizza. All right. So thanks everyone. Thank you.